Hey, doing replay review for Wrath, aka Breeze. This is gonna be mostly raw footage, so it's not gonna be like cut up a lot. There might be weird pauses when I'm taking notes on the side, just as a heads up. Our plat, you said. About plat right now. Hey. Challenge went to fake. A accuracy on open nets. Short game in front of the net. This we can do. Over here, so I can reference it if I need to. Good done. Good kickoff for your rank. We're gonna look at it again, because right here, you're really straight. You're super straight. I have on it right now. The thing is, you're going straight, but I think like last second you move your nose way too. One of these. This is a good position. You probably could have kept this position until you actually got to the ball. That's what. If we slow it down right here, you'll see kind of last second. You see how far away you move your nose. You have to kind of recorrect. I think you would have won this kickoff a lot harder if you would have waited to flip just a little bit. You don't have to move your nose quite so much for kickoffs. It's more like a 50. Really focus on getting that beat. By the way, it's a pretty good setup for your kickoff. It's good of him to take your boost right here. I like you staying on it though, keeping up the pressure. This is a shadow position. He lobbed the ball away. That's unfortunate. So this is a common scenario, especially in 1v1s. This is a fairly basic shadow save. What you're gonna want to aim for here is we'll get his POV. Kind of shows us a little bit better. So first off, we notice that the ball is kind of bouncing this way. Relatively, it's not. I don't think it's gonna go into the net from this position. We had a little bit more time here to control this instead of committing play. This backflip here was a little uncomfortable, so probably working on shadow saves is going to be a big one. You want to either try and control this ball to this side or obviously across your net. But it looks like you had the backflip wasn't bad. It could have been better. But I think this is just comfort with and unfortunately he's ready for this afterward. Nice toast, by the way. Yeah, you had your, again, same thing here. You were in a really good position. This is a fine position, but you kind of overcorrect and turn a little bit too far wide, which makes it hard for you to win this kickoff. Try and move your nose a little bit less on these kicks. Good pathing getting back. Get your boost, get ready for a save. Good save. Decent touch here. These can be awkward. You moved your nose a little bit far from the ball. That might be a reoccurring thing that we see. Moving your nose a little too far away from the ball when you're trying to make contact. That was a really good clear here. We're trying to get some bumps or demos on him and get grab. Be careful in these scenarios, because right here, if he had more boost, better player would be able to probably one-tap this into your net. So something to be aware of. Normally, in this scenario, I only ever will steal boost this way if I also have possession of the ball, or if they don't have possession. Technically, he has possession right now. Something to keep an eye on. Good touch. Don't overextend here, and you'll... These are awkward bounces, just little bounces off the wall like that. They take a long time to get used to. But I liked your idea there. Jumping off for these is going to be especially dangerous until you're a lot more with off the wall plays. Your best bet was kind of like earlier, just driving, trying to hit this rather than jumping off the wall. Good bump attempt here. I like to see it. This is a good turnaround. Nice, really good shot. That was a good kickoff. You see how you didn't move your nose a bunch on that? Oh, you won that one. Awkward here. Let's see what... Ball's behind you. You kind of mess up your half flip, or he bumps you. I couldn't quite tell. I just kind of messed up your half flip. Might be something worth working on in warm-ups, just for like a few moments every day. Oh, so close, so close. So right here, close down so you can kind of see what happened. The reason you don't get any power on this is because you're touching the ball before you're flipping, so you're not your flip isn't actually hitting the ball here. And you can see as you're turning into this, your jump and kind of your driving forward is what hits the ball. Your second flip right here isn't what's hitting the ball, and that's what you want to be hitting. You want to be jumping before you're making contact with the ball. This was a good one, almost at it. Good 50. Boost grab. Be careful, don't want to overextend. Be pretty easy to overextend on their half. Getting a little greedy here. Pretty low on boost, I would just retreat. Yeah, should be open for him now. Let's see. Ooh, good positioning here. You almost had the save. Really close. It was a good little outplay from him, though. He just got outplayed in this scenario. Good try. Good positioning. I like that positioning a lot. Kind of swinging in to make that angle easier for yourself. Kickoff. You dust him there. Bit of hesitation on this. You'll get more comfortable with those the more you grind it, but it's nice to try and anticipate the bounces. Really good shot. I don't know how much you've worked on dribbling, but it might be worth getting you started on some dribble training if you haven't already. A little early on the flip here. This is fine, but you see your flip kind of puts you past the ball. That's why you lose this one. Good save, great save. It should be open. It's back. That's fine. 50. He does win it pretty hard, but it was good making him do something there. Little, I think you could go a little wider on this, as I think you turn into net. I normally opt for a little wider, so I can slow down and read the play if I need to, because this position isn't super threatening for you, unless you can like set up some sort of a doomsy. But either way, you'll still be able to see it and react to most of whatever he can do here. If he takes it up, way. I like to go a little bit wider on these just so I can have a little tiny bit more time reading it. I think you're just getting to this a little bit early, and that's why that angle is so hard for you to read. You get lucky and he does miss. Touches. Boost grabs. Nice staying aggressive here. Good 50. Oh, that might be bad. Right here, let's take a look at this play. This is good, I like this. He gets a really good 50 on you though. But I did like the 50. It was a good 50 and good patience, I'd say. And then you bump him back, nice. Just a little pop there, creates some pressure. Looks like you could work on like power slide turnarounds. They're kind of hard to start working on, but the earlier you start working on turnarounds, the easier they'll be in the long run. So right here, this is a really good opportunity for that power slide, because if you power slide into this, what you're gonna do is be making contact with the ball here. I think this kind of hits the back of your car. That's why you don't get a ton of thing. But this could generate a nice high pop, and he might just dive right over this. These can be really good for these sorts of turnarounds, especially in 1v1. Sometimes they'll work in 2s and 3s as well, but he overextends either way. Just off the wall control. These can be awkward. See what got you into this position. Grab the boost. Miss the boost, actually, and then you go back. Here, if you're not comfortable on the wall, you also have just the option of once you miss the ball, right, and then you come back for the boost, one option is to go this way. If you're comfortable getting this clear, you totally... but if this feels a little awkward for you, you can always just rotate out this way as well. If it's awkward, I always say just rotate out. If you're feeling super awkward, feel like you can't read the play, rotate out, get into a better spot. That way you can start reading what's actually going to be happening here. You got scored on was just because it was a little awkward and you just kind of... And I think that jump at the end, you kind of panic just a little bit here. But it happens. Pretty close game. I would have opted in this situation. Since you're here, it's good to look for your opponent, see what he's doing. He leaves for this boost. You don't need to make this touch on the ball. Since you make this touch, it gets pretty awkward for you. Good save though. Yeah, so for this scenario right here, I would just let this kind of bounce forward. This is just kind of getting used to ground control though, and kind of trusting yourself on. I'd wait for this just to bounce across, and I would drive behind the ball and collect my boost, and then... But you'll get comfortable with that in time, and we'll find some little packs for you. Good patience and good save though. You have a lot of good like game sense things for ones. This was really close here. Yeah, a lot of your flips when you're going to the ball, like right here, you have a really good setup, but you flip just a little bit too early, and then you're missing the ball just by a little. Really close to hitting some really solid shots. Oh wow, that was close. We have another off the wall hit, so that's 2 off the wall hits. You can always opt for not going off the wall until you start working on it, obviously. Once you start working on it and getting better, then I'd start going for him. We can find some like backboard and wall clear sort of things. They're always kind of hard to find in the ranks, but I can see if I have any old ones. Oh, so close. Save, good patience, good composure. Touch, don't panic. Go on boost, you should prioritize getting some. Right here is a shot. This is just, if you would have just done like a nice little front flip, you could have gotten a nice. So right here, you don't get the touch you want. You are also really low on boost. This kind of falls into your being effective with like small play. So let's say you messed up this touch. That's fine. It didn't go how you wanted to. You should look for a bump really quick if you can. So I would turn off ball cam here and look for a bump. And then I always rotate towards my net. Get ready for like some sort of a save here. Because if he shoots this, it should be in your net. Let's go to his POV real quick. So instead of going behind him, what I would have opted for is trying to stay between where the ball currently is. So right, I would try and stay and rotate out, covering this. So if he takes a straight shot towards my net, I'll be able to save it. I think it's important to start learning at earlier ranks, especially when you're low on boost and when you just need to abandon a play, and just try and get out. It's good getting that boost. Good quick recovery back. Don't drive straight into your net like this, because now you have to decide where he's gonna hit. Try and read him, and it gets really, really hard. Whenever you're coming back, look at his POV to give you. So you were in like kind of a shadowing position, and you went back a little bit too far, and then sat in your net. What you could have opted for was right here, slowing it down, and staying with him in this line, and try and bait him to go this way. You know, you can touch the ball this way as well, so you have to kind of be careful with that. But this is a shadowing position that you can just stay in with. Go to a bird's eye view real quick. That would look like. So, back just a hair. You're recovering. You did a good job recovering. But right here, you get a little bit too far away. What I would opt for scenarios like that. Oh, God. So he's taking the ball this way down the field, and he has, now since the ball's bouncing like this, he has a shot this way potential, so you got to keep an eye on that. I would opt for being like on this side of him, so you can push him this way if you want, or even being on this side of him, so you're pushing the play into the corner. Once you turn around like this in your net, you really leave yourself open, because you have to either decide which side you're going to save, and then anything right above you is kind of good. So don't worry about getting back too quick. If you do get back super quick, though, and you are kind of making that mistake in itself, a good idea, instead of going into the net, is kind of going off to the side of the net. So since you were here, I would path here and grab these two and then come this way. And that way you're covering your entire net. Or vice versa, you can come this way if you think this is going to be an easier angle, and then you can cover the whole net. You want to be approaching and getting to the net basically when the shot's coming. I like to try and get to my far post. So let's say I'm rotating in. I like to get here once I think the shot is going to come on my net. So once I see him start to make the hit, here I can start reacting and go for the save. That's kind of how I like to think about defending this way. But you just get back a little bit too quick here. It's not... You have a few options, but you chose the bad one here, which is going into your net. And it makes it really hard to make these saves. Might be worth starting to get a little more cozy with shadow positions and shadow saves. It looks like you're a little awkward with play. It'd be good to start working on those. This guy's camera settings are really... Maybe it's just because it's Octane and I never use it. And you flip a little bit early. So I'd say it's going to be important to start working on flip timing. Just because you flip so early there, it gets you into a really awkward position. There you flipped a little bit early too. Might have you do some flip training. Boost grab. Good control upfield. This should be open. Again, so right here, the flip just feels a little, let's see. It was pretty decent. I don't think it went exactly the way you want. With balls going in front of you like this, you have to really try and make good contact because they have so much forward momentum. You have to make sure your forward momentum's either going to be faster than the ball, or you have to like take an angle that the ball's coming towards you. So, like for example here, instead of kind of flipping with the ball's momentum, sometimes I'll try and get a little bit to the side so I'm hitting the ball more at an angle. So the ball's going forward and I'm creating a nice angle to hit the ball at rather than flipping with its current momentum. Sometimes you just won't get any power, but good goal regardless. We got some overtime. The overtime. Little half flip there. It's always good to work on those. He threw the ball away. Right here, this position and that jump kind of loses the possession that you gained from this. You had a little bit more time than I think you thought you had. It's important to know, especially starting at earlier ranks, you don't need to jump and or flip into a lot of your touches. And so you can start kind of getting better, like, light touches. Save you a lot of self. Pressure. Just take this back if you need to. Yeah, so since you're leaving already here, it would be a good idea, since he's already facing back, to try and get in, try and like preemptively path to get back with you. You always want to try and keep ball possession. You would have wanted to turn towards the ball a little bit earlier here. So like right here, when you kind of decide that you're going to take this back, since he's already facing up this way, I would just turn in this way and try and catch the ball and control it. I don't know your skill with like dribbling and catching and controlling. We haven't seen, I don't think we've any dribbles on top of the guard. That might be something worth starting to work on. I'll give you some packs for that. If you have, just let me know on a Discord message and I can give you. But I think that might be good. Good control, good patience, and good game. That was a pretty good game. We do have some big things that we've noticed and that we've seen. I think I'm probably going to recommend you to do a little bit of play saves. These will be probably decent for you. Or free play like shadowing positions and just relative some relative free play stuff I think will be good for you. One of them I think is going to be working and getting like touches like this. Kind of getting used to getting lighter touches on the ball. So if I write like figure 8 in here or hot potato drill, this is kind of the hot potato drill. Getting these little bounces on the ball. It's relatively hard, so it might be hard, but we'll kind of see. This is good for like you get used to like your ball control. So I'll probably have this in the pack. But it still seems like you're still pretty early in your journey, so my mind might change. But if this is something you want to try, and I don't put it in the training pack, feel free to go for it. Yeah, that was a replay review. I'm gonna write up the pack, and then yeah.